Captain Marcus Drake stood at the viewport of the UES Sentinel, watching the massive Xylaxian warships drift in perfect formation against the backdrop of Jupiter's swirling storms. Their crystalline hulls reflected sunlight in mesmerizing patterns, a reminder of how far advanced their technology was compared to humanity's best efforts. "Captain, the Xylaxian delegation is ready to board," Lieutenant Jade Wong announced from her communications station. Drake straightened his dress uniform, trying to shake off the tension that had built up over the past 3 days of negotiations. "Very well. Honor guard to the docking bay." He headed for the elevator, accompanied by his security chief, Commander Viktor Petrov, a burly Russian whose perpetual scowl had only deepened since the Xylaxians arrived in the solar system 2 weeks ago. "I don't like this, sir," Petrov muttered. "Their queen never attends preliminary negotiations." "Why now?" Drake shared his concerns but kept his expression neutral. "Maybe they're finally serious about peace." The docking bay doors opened to reveal an honor guard of 20 Marines in dress whites. The Xylaxian shuttle was already settling onto the deck, its crystalline surface flowing like liquid metal as it adapted to the artificial gravity. Queen Valara emerged first, her towering frame easily 7 feet tall. Unlike the warrior caste of her species, who resembled armored insects, the royal bloodline had evolved into something more ethereal. Her iridescent skin shifted colors with her movements, and her 4 eyes, arranged in a diamond pattern, seemed to take in everything at once. "Captain Drake," she said, her translator rendering her musical language into crisp English. "Your vessel is adequate." Drake bowed slightly, as briefed by xenodiplomacy. "Your Majesty honors us with your presence." "Indeed." She gestured, and her guards parted to reveal a floating platform bearing ancient-looking artifacts. "I bring the sacred implements of binding. They will be necessary." Drake exchanged glances with Petrov. "This wasn't in any briefing." "I'm afraid I don't understand, Your Majesty. We were expecting to discuss the terms of the ceasefire." "Oh, we shall discuss peace." Valara's skin rippled with patterns of blue and gold. "But first, you must understand the price. I have reviewed thousands of human military records, studied your species' potential. You, Captain Marcus Drake, will become my mate, or there will be no peace between our peoples." The honor guard maintained their rigid posture, but Drake could feel the shock rippling through them. Petrov actually took a step forward before catching himself. "Your Majesty," Drake said carefully, "I believe there may be some cultural misunderstanding. There is none." Valara's lower eyes fixed on him while her upper pair scanned the room. "Your species possesses qualities mine has lost. Adaptability. Creativity. Illogical courage. The prophecies speak of such a union bringing a new age of prosperity. I have chosen you, Marcus Drake, because you exemplify these traits. Your actions during the Battle of Ganymede prove this." Drake fought to keep his voice steady. "That was just doing my duty, Your Majesty. We were protecting civilian mining operations. You pilot a vessel 1/10 the size of a Xylaxian warship, yet you positioned yourself between our dreadnought and those miners. Then you transmitted a signal that overloaded our targeting systems, something that should have been impossible. That is exactly what my people need." Before Drake could respond, his comm unit chimed. "Captain," Lieutenant Wong's voice was tense. "Emergency transmission from Earth Command. Admiral Chen is, quite insistent." "Your superiors will want to discuss this," Valara said, amused. "I grant you 12 of your hours to consider. But know this, I do not make this offer lightly, nor will it be repeated. The future of both our species may depend on your answer." She turned in a swirl of crystalline robes, her guards falling in around her. As they headed back to their shuttle, Drake found his voice. "Your Majesty, why me?" "Really?" Valara paused at the shuttle's entrance. "Because, Captain Drake, in all my research, you were the only human who made me laugh." With that cryptic response, she was gone, leaving Drake to face what would surely be the most interesting debriefing of his career. Well, Petrov said after a long moment, at least she's pretty. For a giant color-changing alien queen. Drake shot him a look. Get me Earth Command. And Victor? We never had this conversation. What conversation, sir? I was too busy having an aneurysm. As Drake headed for the bridge, he couldn't shake the feeling that his life had just become considerably more complicated. Somewhere in the vast expanse of space, he was sure the universe was laughing at him. Absolutely not. Admiral Harrison's hologram thundered across the UES Sentinel's conference room. We're not turning this peace negotiation into some kind of intergalactic dating show. Captain Drake stood at attention, surrounded by floating displays showing various Earth military and political leaders, all wearing expressions ranging from concern to barely concealed amusement. With respect, Admiral, General Zhao cut in from her Beijing command center, we should consider the diplomatic implications. The Xylaxians have never shown this level of personal interest in humanity before. Personal interest? Harrison scoffed. They want to turn one of our best captains into some kind of royal consort. Drake cleared his throat. If I may, sir. Queen Valara mentioned something about prophecies and genetic compatibility. Our xenobiologists might want to dash. Captain, a smooth voice interrupted. Director Kane of Earth Intelligence leaned forward, his artificial eyes glowing softly. What's your assessment of her true motives? Honestly? I think she's testing us. The Xylaxians value strength above all else. This might be their way of seeing how we handle unexpected challenges. Before anyone could respond, Lieutenant Wong's voice came over the intercom. Captain, the Xylaxian flagship is powering up their primary weapons array. The conference room erupted in chaos. Drake was already moving. Maintain position. All hands to battle stations, but do not power weapons. That's an order. He reached the bridge just as a massive hologram of Queen Valara appeared in the space above the Sentinel. Her skin was cycling through rapid color changes, a sign of strong emotion in her species. Your time grows short, Captain Drake, she announced, her voice echoing across every channel. But first, a demonstration of what awaits my chosen mate. Behold the first trial. A beam of pure energy lanced out from her flagship, not toward the Sentinel, but into empty space. The vacuum itself seemed to tear open, revealing a swirling portal of impossible colors. Holy shit, Petrov breathed from his security station. She's creating a controlled quantum rift. We've only theorized about this. Valara's image smiled. Indeed. The first trial requires the participant to navigate the maze of shifting realities. Failure means being lost between dimensions. Success means proving worthy of Xylaxian royalty. You have 1 hour to enter voluntarily, or we will consider your reluctance a rejection of our peace offer. The hologram vanished. Drake's comm unit immediately exploded with incoming calls from Earth Command, but he was focused on the swirling portal. Lieutenant Wong's hands flew over her console. Captain, I'm detecting multiple reality signatures from that rift. It's like someone took a dozen parallel universes and twisted them into a pretzel. Fascinating, Drake muttered. And completely insane. Petrov, what's your analysis? The security chief was reviewing sensor data. The good news? The portal appears stable. The bad news? Everything else. Sir, you're not actually considering dash. What choice do we have? Drake straightened his uniform. Earth can't afford a war with the Xylaxians. Not now. Besides, he managed a grim smile, I've always wanted to see other dimensions. Captain, Wong said softly, there's something else. I've been analyzing Xylaxian transmissions. This trial, it's not just about proving worth. It's about understanding their perspective. They exist partially in quantum space. That's why their technology seems so advanced to us. Drake nodded slowly. So this is about seeing if humans can comprehend their reality. Lieutenant, you have command. If I'm not back in 2 hours, transmit my logs to Earth Command and get the Sentinel to safe distance. Sir, Petrov stepped forward, at least let me assemble a team dash. No. The Queen chose me. This is my trial. Drake headed for the elevator. Besides, Victor, someone needs to feed my cat if I get lost in the multiverse. Minutes later, Drake stood in an environmental suit at the edge of the Sentinel's launch bay, staring into the quantum rift. His suit's sensors were already going haywire, displaying impossible readings. Captain, Wong's voice came over his comm, the Xylaxian flagship is transmitting navigation data. It's like a map, but in 11 dimensions. Download it to my suit's computer. At least we'll have a blueprint of madness. Drake took a deep breath. Beginning first trial navigation. And Lieutenant? If I start quoting Lewis Carroll, cut my comm. With that, he activated his suit's thrusters and moved toward the portal. The last thing he heard before reality fractured around him was Queen Valara's voice, somehow in his mind. Show me, Marcus Drake, if humans truly can dance between worlds. The universe dissolved into quantum foam, and Drake's journey through the impossible began. Somewhere in the distance, he could have sworn he heard Petrov mutter, "I really hate aliens," with a flair for the dramatic. Reality fractured like a kaleidoscope around Captain Drake as he entered the quantum rift. His environmental suit's displays flickered between different number systems, some of which seemed to be arguing with each other about the nature of existence. Still receiving your signal, Captain, Lieutenant Wong's voice crackled, distorted but audible. Though you appear to be simultaneously here, there, and, last Thursday. Drake maneuvered through the crystalline structures that hung in what might have been space, if space had decided to take up interpretive dance. Each crystal showed a different version of reality, some where Earth had never developed space travel, others where the Xylaxians had evolved into beings of pure energy. Fascinating, he muttered, consulting the 11-dimensional map. These aren't just parallel universes. They're possibilities. Quantum states that never collapsed. A figure appeared beside him, walking through the void as if it were a garden path. Queen Valara, but somehow both more and less real than her physical form. You understand quickly, Marcus Drake, her quantum echo said. My people exist in all states simultaneously. It is why we seek grounding. Anchors in singular reality. That's what this is about, isn't it? Drake realized. Not just marriage. You need something to keep you from dissolving into quantum foam. Before she could answer, a pulse of energy rippled through the maze. Drake's suit alarms screamed as reality began to unravel around him. Captain. Wong's voice was urgent. Detecting massive quantum fluctuations. Something's destabilizing the rift. Through the crystals, Drake saw multiple versions of his ship, the Sentinel, under attack. Warships of unknown design were emerging from stealth fields, firing weapons that seemed to eat through space itself. The Void Consortium, Valara's quantum echo hissed, her form flickering. They oppose any alliance between our peoples. They feed on isolation, on conflict. Drake's tactical training kicked in. Lieutenant, full scan of local space. Look for phase-shifted energy signatures. We're about to have company in normal space. He pushed through the quantum maze, following the map while his mind raced. The crystals around him showed countless possibilities, victories, defeats, worlds burning and worlds being born. There. He spotted a nexus point, a place where multiple realities converged. The maze isn't just a test. It's a quantum computer. Every crystal is a calculation of possible futures. Valara's echo smiled. Now you see why we chose you. Humans, you grasp patterns in chaos. Find meaning in madness. A blast of void energy nearly hit Drake, forcing him to dodge through multiple probability states. He caught glimpses of other figures moving through the maze, dark shapes that seemed to drink in light itself. Void Consortium assassins in the maze, he reported. Wong, status. 5 stealth ships decloaking. There, sir, they're firing weapons I've never seen before. The Xylaxian flagship is engaged. Drake reached the nexus point, understanding flooding through him as he saw the quantum calculations play out. The marriage proposal, the trial, it's not just about peace between our peoples. You're fighting a war across multiple realities. Yes, Valara's echo confirmed. The consortium seeks to keep species isolated, trapped in single quantum states where they can be harvested. You're humanity's gift for existing firmly in one reality while imagining countless others. It is vital to our survival. Another void blast turned a cluster of crystals to quantum ash. Drake checked his suit's power, barely enough for what he planned. Wong, transmit these coordinates to the Xylaxian flagship. Tell them to synchronize their quantum drives on my mark. He began rewiring his suit's systems. I'm going to use the maze as a lens. Focus all possible futures into one point. Captain, Wong's voice was concerned, the energy requirements dash. Will fry my suit, I know. But it'll also collapse the consortium's quantum state. Force them to exist in one reality where we can fight them. He could see them clearly now through the crystals, the Void Consortium ships, existing in multiple states, nearly impossible to hit. Unless. Now. Drake channeled his suit's power into the nexus point. Reality screamed as possibilities collapsed into certainty. Through the crystals, he saw the Sentinel and the Xylaxian flagship fire as one, their weapons synchronized across quantum states. The consortium ships, forced into singular existence, never stood a chance. As his suit's power failed and consciousness faded, Drake saw one last possibility crystal. In it, humans and Xylaxians worked together, exploring realities, defending existence itself against the void. Queen Valara's echo touched his faceplate. Rest, Marcus Drake. You have proven far more than your worth as a potential mate. You have proven humanity's worth as allies. The last thing Drake heard before the quantum maze faded was Lieutenant Wong's voice, Captain, you're not going to believe this, but I think you just got engaged by saving multiple realities. And then darkness took him, though he could have sworn he heard Petrov mutter something about keeping the bachelor party in one dimension, at least. Captain Drake awoke in what appeared to be a medical bay designed by someone with a passionate love of crystals and a questionable understanding of human anatomy. The bed he lay on shifted and adjusted constantly, trying to achieve optimal comfort across multiple quantum states simultaneously. Please stop moving, he muttered to the bed. Surprisingly, it complied. It responds to conscious thought, Queen Valara said, stepping into view. In normal space, her presence was somehow both more and less overwhelming than her quantum echo had been. Much like everything in Xylaxian technology. We exist in harmony with probability itself. Your Majesty. Drake attempted to sit up, but his muscles felt like they'd been rearranged by a drunk quantum physicist. The Void Consortium dash. Retreated, for now. Though they left us a gift. She gestured, and a hologram appeared above his bed. It showed a massive void ship emerging from quantum space near Pluto. They mean to demonstrate the consequence of our people's cooperation. The door chimed, admitting Lieutenant Wong and Commander Petrov. Both wore expressions of barely contained awe at the Xylaxian medical bay. Petrov was unsuccessfully trying not to stare at a device that appeared to be performing surgery in 6 dimensions at once. Earth Command is processing the situation, sir, Wong reported. The quantum data you transmitted has every physicist from Beijing to MIT in a frenzy. And the void ship? She hesitated. It's big, Petrov finished helpfully. Really big. Makes our biggest dreadnought look like a rowboat, big. Drake studied the hologram. The void ship was a darkness against space itself, as if someone had cut a ship-shaped hole in reality. They're not just trying to stop an alliance. They want to make an example of us. Yes, Valara's skin rippled with patterns of deep purple, concern, Drake was learning to recognize. The consortium believes in enforced isolation. Species trapped in single quantum states are easier to control, to feed upon. Feed upon? Petrov's hand instinctively went to his weapon. They consume possibility itself, Valara explained. Every dream unmade, every path not taken, every quantum state collapsed into gray certainty, it sustains them. Drake watched the void ship's movements. Its pattern seemed familiar. They're not attacking yet. They're waiting for something. Wong, any unusual quantum signatures? The lieutenant consulted her tablet. Actually, yes. There's a strange resonance building up throughout the solar system. It's like reality is holding its breath. The harvesting, Valara's colors shifted to deep red. They mean to collapse all possible futures for humanity into a single, predestined path. One they control. Not going to happen, Drake said firmly. He swung his legs off the bed, ignoring his protesting muscles. Your Majesty, I think it's time we discussed wedding plans. Everyone stared at him. Petrov actually dropped his tablet. The quantum maze showed me something, Drake continued. Xylaxian technology, human intuition, they're complementary. You exist in all states at once, we excel at choosing the right state at the right time. Together. We could navigate quantum space like no species has before, Valara finished, her skin blazing with patterns of gold and silver, excitement, possibility. More than that. Drake stood, steady now. The consortium wants to collapse all futures into one. Let's give them more futures than they can handle. Lieutenant, contact Earth Command. Tell them we need every ship we can muster. Commander, I need you to coordinate with the Xylaxian tactical officers. We're going to teach them quantum combat. And us? Valara asked, a hint of amusement in her multitonal voice. Your Majesty, I believe we have a wedding to plan. One that's going to take place across multiple quantum states simultaneously. He managed a grin. Unless you've changed your mind about making me your consort. After watching you rewrite quantum physics to save both our peoples. Marcus Drake, I am more certain than ever. She extended a hand that shifted through several dimensions at once. Though I should warn you, a Xylaxian royal wedding traditionally involves at least 3 paradoxes and 1 impossible dance number. Only 3. Drake took her hand, feeling the strange sensation of existing in multiple possibilities at once. I'm almost disappointed. From the doorway, Petrov sighed. I'll start planning the quantum bachelor party. Sir. Please try to stay in one dimension for it. The paperwork for interdimensional incidents is murder. As they left the medical bay to prepare for both a wedding and a battle that would span multiple realities, Drake couldn't help but smile. Somehow, saving existence itself seemed simpler than explaining to his mother that he was marrying a quantum alien queen. But first, they had a void ship to deal with. And Drake had a feeling that the combination of human determination and Xylaxian quantum science was about to rewrite the rules of space, time, and reality itself. The combined human Xylaxian fleet hung in space near Jupiter's orbit, a strange mixture of Earth's solid-state warships and the crystalline quantum vessels of the Xylaxians. On the bridge of the UES Sentinel, now temporarily merged with a Xylaxian quantum core, Captain Drake watched the void ship approach. You know, Petrov said from his modified tactical station, when I joined Space Force, nobody mentioned anything about quantum weddings during void invasions. Disappointed? Drake adjusted his dress uniform, which had been enhanced with Xylaxian crystalline elements that kept shifting between different styles across multiple realities. Are you kidding? This is going in my memoir. Chapter title, My Captain Married a Quantum Queen and All I Got Was This Reality-Bending T-Shirt. Lieutenant Wong's console chimed. Sir, the void ship is powering up its reality collapse drive. They're trying to force our entire system into a single quantum state. Right on schedule. Drake touched the quantum communicator at his throat. Your Majesty. Are you ready to get married? Queen Valara's voice resonated across multiple frequencies. The quantum chapel is prepared. The reality priests await. Though I must warn you, the traditional Xylaxian wedding vows exist in a superposition of being both eternally binding and eternally changing. Sounds like marriage to me, Drake smiled. All ships, begin Operation Quantum Wedding. The fleet moved into formation, human and Xylaxian ships interweaving in a complex pattern that looked suspiciously like a DNA double helix. At strategic points, specially modified quantum beacons activated, creating a web of possibility across the solar system. The void ship's attack began, waves of anti-possibility spreading out like dark ripples in spacetime. Where they touched, reality began to gray out, futures collapsing into a single, determined path. Now, Drake ordered. Every ship in the fleet activated their quantum drives simultaneously. The wedding ceremony began across multiple realities at once, each possibility strengthening the others. Drake found himself simultaneously on the Sentinel's bridge and in the quantum chapel, speaking vows that existed in all languages at once while tactical data flowed through his mind. By the power of quantum entanglement, the reality priest's voice echoed across dimensions, and the strength of humanity's singular determination. The void ship's attack met the quantum web created by the fleet. But instead of reality collapsing, it expanded. Every possibility strengthened by the union of human and Xylaxian, every future amplified by their combined power. Sir. Wong's voice cut through the quantum noise. The void ship, it's being overwhelmed by possibility itself. Through the quantum link, Drake felt Valara's triumph. The Void Consortium had never faced a species that could both exist in quantum superposition and choose definitive paths through it. The combination was proving more than their reality-consuming weapons could handle. They feed on collapsed possibilities, Drake said, understanding flowing through the quantum link. So let's give them infinite possibility instead. The wedding ceremony peaked, human determination meeting Xylaxian quantum science in perfect harmony. Reality itself seemed to sing as the void ship was engulfed not in darkness, but in pure, unlimited potential. I now pronounce you quantum-bound across all possible realities, the reality priest declared, just as the void ship began to break apart, unable to contain the infinite futures suddenly flooding through it. Fleet status? Drake asked, finding himself fully back on the Sentinel's bridge, though part of him still felt the quantum connection to every possibility. The void ship is gone, Wong reported, awe in her voice. But not destroyed, transformed. Sir, I'm detecting new realities budding from it. The consortium crew, they're becoming something else. Through the viewport, Drake watched as the dark mass of the void ship dissolved into streams of luminous possibility, each one carrying former consortium members into new quantum states of existence. They were creatures of collapsed possibility, Valara said, materializing on the bridge in a quantum shimmer. We showed them the power of infinite potential instead. Now they will seed new realities rather than consuming them. So, Petrov cleared his throat, does this make Captain Drake king of quantum space now? Consort commander of the quantum realms, technically, Valara corrected, her skin swirling with patterns of joy and amusement. Though his first duty will be helping establish the new quantum academy, where humans and Xylaxians can learn to navigate possibility together. Drake took her hand, feeling the strange sensation of existing in multiple states while remaining anchored in his humanity. Any chance we get a honeymoon first? I know this nice spot in the Horsehead Nebula. Or we could visit all possible versions of Paris simultaneously. First, Valara's colors shifted to a teasing pattern. You have to explain to your mother why her new daughter-in-law exists in 11 dimensions. And fill out the paperwork, Wong added helpfully. I'm not even sure what forms cover quantum marriages during reality-bending space battles. Form QB-159, Petrov said. Everyone stared at him. What? I told you I was preparing for everything. I even got ordained in quantum space, just in case. As the fleet began its victory celebration across multiple realities, Drake looked out at the transformed void ship, now a garden of budding possibilities. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger quantum existence, while keeping the singular determination that made them unique. So, he said to his quantum queen, ready to explore some impossible futures together. Valara's answer existed in all possible ways of saying yes, across all conceivable realities. And somewhere in the quantum foam of space-time, the universe itself smiled at the union of certainty and infinite possibility. The end.